been a while since my last update, so we're going to just run through a few of the things that I've done with the truck. You can see it's come on a wee bit since my last video. So I'm going to take you around it, have a little chat about what I've done, and just show you a few little bits and bobs that may have given me a little bit of a snag. So one of the things that I've done, these are the original wheels with the bolts that hold them in place, which I decided kind of wasn't really very scale, so I've swapped those, and what I've done is fit what do you call it, not a grommet, but you know the thing I mean, and then put a bolt on the top which looks a bit more scale. I got grub screws, that's the word I was looking for. I got 10mm grub screws. I was aiming for 8s, having measured the bolts that came out. I went for 10, but in actual fact I could have gone longer. They do screw in quite a long way, but I think that's an improvement. I think that looks much better. We've got the hinges on for the doors, fitted to the bulkhead. Now these little screws, you find some of these screws are so small they strip really easily, so you have to be really careful, and really a lot of them you want to fit them once and not again, because the risk of stripping them magnifies considerably the more times that you use them. So this one is actually the head strip slightly, so I need to get that out with a set of mole grips and put a replacement in. Chassis we've painted the same colour as the body because that's how they were from the factory. The front bumper though was always galvanised and not painted. Fix the shock absorbers on. There is just a little bit of a gap, if you can see it, just there. So I think I'm probably going to fit a washer or something like that. I don't quite know why they didn't put this connector flush with the edge here, because that's not ideal having that gap there. It's going to put quite a lot of strain on this wee little tiny bolt here. So that's something that I need to change. I got the slightly smaller bolts to fit into here. The recessed ones slightly shorter, they fit a lot better now. Steering wheel we've done in black and silver as per the original. Got the dash detail there. I couldn't find the decals in the beginning, and so put all this together assuming there wasn't any. Then I found them, they were actually in with a certificate. It would definitely be easier to put the decals in before you assemble this unit here, so I've got to try and work out what I'm going to do with that to make that work. We've got the little bracing bar going across here, which goes into the little holes just there. That's going to need gluing in place, but it's also just ever so slightly long at the minute, so we'll trim it down. That's flush on the other end, so we're going to trim it down so that it's flush. Bulkhead went on without any particular major problems. Fitted things like the windscreen supports and stuff like that, ready for the windscreen to go on. We've fitted the radiator housing just there, and this is the radiator that's due to go in, but this section here was very bent when it came out. I've sort of straightened it up along here. You can just see it's still not quite flat, but the problem that I've got is this still isn't right for fitting. As far as I can tell, it's supposed to fit into there, but it seems quite short, and the holes that are in it don't really line up with anything on here on that front piece, so I'm going to have to put a bit of thought into that before making any more adjustments to the bend. And to be honest, that's what's been slowing me down a wee bit, because I've been a bit worried about trying to get that right, because if I bend this piece too much it's going to break, so I need to be certain that it's in the right place, and I haven't really kind of fathomed that out as yet. Axles and suspension are on, and there's very specific instructions about the distance that these axles should be fitted from the front and rear of the vehicle, this measurement here. If you don't get that right, then the wheels won't sit in the right place underneath the arches when you come to assemble it all. So I did try and make sure that that was going to be okay. And yeah, as you can see, they seem to be on reasonably well. The other bit that's been giving me a bit of trouble is the wings, or fenders as you call them in America. I sanded these down quite a bit, but there is still machining marks on them. I don't think you can quite see them very well on the vid, but there is a wee collection of machining marks. They are just kind of like there. Yeah, I can't really get them to show up with the paint. Oh, there you go. So this paint's going to have to come off, and I'm going to have to sand that down further. I thought I was going to get away with it, but no, that's not really good enough. That's not how they would have left the factory, so that needs to be redone as well, and sanded back. And we've got the drop links for the leaf springs. Trying to, again, they're movable, because the idea is that when the vehicle goes over bumps, those will kind of move with the wheel to allow for the flex in the spring. But they were a little bit tricky to fit, and you have to make sure that they're sort of basically the same from side to side. And again, they're very, very small bolts, very, very easy to strip, as I found out to my cost, which then means having to get a fresh bolt and re-thread the hole that it's going to go into, which is a bit of a nose. So that's kind of a wee catch up on where we're up to. So the next job is to try and get that radiator panel to fit, redo the wings, get those on, and then yeah, then we'll see how we go from there. But yeah, that's going to take a little bit of time to just get squared away. But yeah, that's where we're up to. But I'm pretty happy with it so far. It's looking nice. It's quite hefty, quite a bit of weight to it, which is good, because that looks better when they're actually driving around. A bit of weight will make the suspension move a lot better. And I have taken one leaf out of each of the leaf springs just to give it a little bit slightly softer suspension. It's still quite firm, but once the bodywork's on and all the electrics and so on, it's going to have a lot more weight to it. The tyres need to be glued in place. That one slips, so I need to get some glue to fix the tyres. The wheels, I think, are a bit of a work of art as they look, and so I'm kind of reluctant to paint those. It's not the correct colour for what the vehicle would have been, but they're so nicely finished, I kind of just want to leave them as they are, to be honest. So I think I should probably do that. Yeah, and that's where we're up to. So thanks very much for watching. A brief video just to do a bit of an update, and hopefully we'll see you again soon when I made a bit more progress. Please like and subscribe if you want to follow the build, and there's lots of other stuff on my channel as well, and hopefully I'll see you soon.